If you've ever been in an accident, you can cause a fender bender, and months later you get a bill in the mail for hundreds of dollars for the police response to that crash. Simply Money's Amy Wagner explains why it could happen to you and why some say the bill is so dangerous.
Accident response fees are illegal in Indiana, but in Ohio and Kentucky, it's up to the local government to decide if they'll charge you when you cause an accident. And while some claim these fees are dangerous for drivers, we've learned some local governments could soon start billing you for causing that fender bender.
I was taking my son to a Boy Scout camping trip, and yeah, was running late, kind of distracted, kind of turned around to make sure we had his coat, and then it's the first accident I've ever been in. I rear-ended somebody.
Luckily, nobody was injured in the accident Rachel Moore caused, but that's where her luck may have run out, because her fender bender happened here on Galbraith in Amberley Village. And Moore had no idea at the time that the little village might be the last place you'd want to cause an accident. It's a lesson she didn't learn until months later.
You know, I thought it was completely behind me.
Until more than 6 months later, when Moore got this little reminder in the mail, a bill for more than $600 for the 2 officers who responded to her crash.
This is ridiculous. Why would you call the police if you knew that you were going to have to pay for it if the police came? I thought that's why we paid taxes.
But Amberley Village Police Chief Richard Wallace points out that because Moore doesn't live here, she doesn't pay taxes here. He says she's being billed to reimburse those who do.
This is no more than to cover the cost that our taxpayers are paying here to reimburse the village for the funds.
It's called an accident response fee. Amberley Village has been charging them for a decade now. And with many states cutting local government funds, other local departments are looking into it too.
Within the past probably month, I've probably talked to another 5 or 6 agencies. It's just that everybody's in the same situation where the dollars are going down and we have to be able to maintain.
In fact, Cost Recovery Corporation, the third-party company that bills for the accident fees, says they are currently talking to both Gulf Manor and St. Bernard about similar programs. They also confirm the city of Cincinnati has contacted them as well.
So would your message to people be expect to see more of this?
Yes. Most certainly.
Cost recovery starts by billing the insurance company, but according to the Ohio Insurance Institute, at least 85% of insurance companies providing auto insurance in the state don't cover non-medical accident fees. So in most cases, that bill goes straight to the driver at fault.
You're texting, you're drinking and driving, whatever the case may be, inattentive driving, regardless of what that may be. There has to be some sort of negligence involved.
Rachel Moore admits she caused the accident she was billed for, and her first response was to call 911 for help. But after getting this bill, that may not be her reaction if it happens again.
If you're in an accident, you might want to think twice about calling the police if you don't need to, if you're going to have to pay for it.
Which is why AAA stands firmly against charging these kinds of fees.
Motorists should not be fearful of wanting to call the police if they're in an accident or if they hit somebody's car, because they're going to get a massive bill in the mail.
As for Moore's massive bill, we did some digging. It turns out that Amberley Village sends 3 copies. After that, if there's no payment received, the bill goes away. But the concept of accident response fees isn't going anywhere. In fact, your local department might be the next to serve and collect.
And this kind of made me feel more like a criminal. It made me feel like I didn't deserve to have the police come because I had been the one at fault.
And while Amberley Village won't send those accounts to collections, it's up to each local government to decide how they're going to handle it. By the way, Cost Recovery keeps 25% of the money they recoup for local departments. For Fox 19 Now and Simply Money, I'm Amy Wagner.